I still remember that night clearly. The room was dark. The fan was making a soft humming sound, and I was lying in bed, half awake, half lost in my own thoughts. I had not slept properly for weeks. My mind was heavy. My heart felt tired. Life was moving, but I wasn't. Things looked normal from the outside, but inside, everything felt unsettled. At 2:13 a.m., my phone lighted up. A single notification, a message, just one. I did not expect anything important at that hour. My phone usually stayed silent at night. But something about that notification made my heart beat a little faster. I picked up the phone and there it was. A name I had once tried so hard to forget. The name that once made me smile. The same name that later made me cry. It was him. And his message had only 22 words. I read it once, then again, as if I needed to confirm I wasn't dreaming. At that moment, I had no idea that this simple message would reopen doors I had closed long ago and also show me the truth I had never understood. Before I tell you what the message said, you need to know who he was. His name was Arav. We met during college. Not in a romantic way, not in a dramatic way, just two strangers sitting next to each other during a lecture. He cracked a silly joke that wasn't even funny. But I laughed anyway. I don't know why. Maybe I liked the way he looked at me when he spoke. He became my best friend before I realized I liked him. And he liked me before he realized he needed time. We were both young, emotional, confused, and completely unprepared for what loving someone truly means. Our relationship was simple in the beginning, then complicated, then painful, and then silent. And after that silence, life moved on. Or at least his life did. Mine got stuck somewhere between memories and reality. You have waited long enough. So, here is what the message said. I hope you are doing okay. I thought I moved on, but I didn't. I am sorry for everything. Can we talk 22 words. Not dramatic, not poetic, not emotional, just honest. Too honest for 2:13 a.m. I stared at those lines for several minutes. My heart felt everything at once: shock, anger, sadness, hope, confusion. My brain said, "Don't reply." My heart said, "You waited for this for years." My soul said, "Maybe this is your closure." I did not know what to do. While my phone lay silent in my hand, memories began to rise like waves, some soft, some painful, some I had buried deep. I remembered the evening walks, the endless conversations, the silly fights, the long voice notes, the dream we shared, and the promises he broke. I remembered the day he walked away. He said he needed space, time, clarity. He said he was confused. He said he still cared, but not in the same way. I held on to every word, but he didn't come back. Days turned into months, months into years, and silence grew between us like a wall. I learned to smile again, but something inside me stayed incomplete. Should I reply? Should I ignore? Should I revisit the past? Should I protect my heart? My mind became a battlefield. A part of me felt strong. A part of me felt weak. A part of me felt nothing. A part of me felt everything. I opened the typing box, then closed it. Opened it again, closed it again. When you have loved someone deeply, even silence feels loud. The next morning, I woke up early. I checked my phone immediately. No new messages. Of course, when people write at 2 a.m., they usually disappear at sunrise. But that day, something was different. I felt calm. I felt in control. I felt like an older version of myself, stronger, wiser, more mature. I finally typed a reply. I am okay. Hope you are doing well too. We can talk. Just 4 words. We can talk. Enough to open a door, not enough to lose myself. He replied instantly. He wanted to meet. He wanted to talk. He wanted to explain everything. And for the first time in years, I didn't want answers. I wanted clarity. We met in a quiet cafe. Not the one we used to visit. I chose a different place. Fresh space, fresh energy, fresh version of me. He looked older, calmer, but his eyes were the same, the eyes once I trusted. He began to speak softly. He apologized. He shared his journey, his failures, his mistakes, and his regrets. And I listened very calmly and very quietly. At one point, he said, I thought losing you would hurt less than keeping you. But I was wrong. A younger me would have broken down right there. But the present me, she just smiled because I finally understood. I wasn't there to reconnect. I was there to release. After he finished, he looked at me as if expecting something, anger, tears, or hope. Instead, I spoke gently. I cared for you. I really did. But I care for myself more now. He looked shocked. Not because I said something harsh, but because I said it with peace. I continued. You leaving hurt me, but it taught me something important. Love is not about holding on. Sometimes love is learning to let go. He lowered his eyes, not in guilt but in understanding. We talked for almost 2 hours about life, dreams, failures, and growth. Before we left, he asked, Do you think we can start again? I smiled kindly and said, No, we can't start again, but we can end well. He nodded, and that was our closure. Not dramatic, not painful, just peaceful. As I walked back home, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. That is lightness. There was no anger, no regret, and no confusion, just clarity. I realized something important that day. Closure does not come from someone returning. Closure does not come from apologizes. Closure does not come from explanations. Closure comes from growth, from healing, from understanding your worth. And that 22-word message, it didn't change my life bringing him back. It changed my life by bringing me back. Sometimes life gives you messages at strange hours, not because the past wants to return, but because you are finally ready to let it go. Remember this. You don't always get closure from people. You get closure from becoming the person you were meant to be.